Watch KSTV weeknights at 7:30 and 11 Eastern, and anytime with Insight on Demand on Channel 103.
We're now happy to be joined via Skype by former Cat great Derek Anderson, who's joining us from down in Catlanta, where the Cats very well could end up trying to make the Final Four here in a few weeks. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. Enjoying life.
Well, that's what we like to hear. We'll talk a little bit about what you're doing now in a minute, but let's talk about these Cats. You went on Twitter yesterday and broke down some of the players on the team, what you thought about the individual players. I'd like to have you do that some with me now. I'll give you a player and you tell me Derek Anderson's read on him. How's that?
That sounds like a plan.
All right, what do you think of our man Anthony Davis? Some people think National Player of the Year. How about you?
I think so. I think the difference with him is like Christian Laettner won it that year, that Shaquille was the best player. Same thing with Anthony Davis. He's the best player, the most impactful player that we have in the country. So I think that's by hands down, he's the best player that can change the game at any point.
You were a guy who liked to penetrate to the basket. It's very difficult to penetrate against Anthony Davis. How should a player who wants to not just shoot jumpers, how should they attack Davis?
Well, you know, I always put my body into his body first, because if he times you, he's going to block everything that you do. I've dunked on 7'2" guys my whole career, so I've always went body to body so I can catch him before they caught me, because you're at a disadvantage. He's just waiting on you, but most guys want to throw it up soft or look around him, but he's too smart for that. He's going to stay, wait, and just wait until you get there. But if you don't go into his body, you're pretty much done.
I've only seen one player really do that to him, JaMychal Green at Alabama, and he did a good job. I've wondered why more don't. What about Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, a guy that I've heard a couple people actually compare to you at times?
I've heard that too. People used to tell me all the time he plays well, he keeps everybody uplifted, but you need that on your team. Like when I played in '96, I didn't have to score 20 points, but I made sure my teammates were getting better because of what I was doing, hustle, be enthusiastic, and all those type of things. So he's got a heart to win, and he's, like I said, he reminds me of Kobe Bryant, the way he plays, not his attitude, but the way he plays. Every play he wants to make something happen, and he wants to make sure they win.
Yeah, that's a pretty high comparison. Now, a guy that's had kind of an up and down year we thought might contend for first team All-American was Terrence Jones. Now, he seems more on the up than the down right now. What have you seen in terms of his year and how it's gone?
He was like Antoine Walker was his freshman year, and I think what happened with Antoine, he got around us and got better because we made him relax more, and I think Terrence needs to relax more and let everything come to him. He's doing so much at one time that he doesn't have to do that. You know, once Antoine stopped shooting crazy shots, he realized that we could get him the ball, and he still wound up having 15 or 16 points, and that's what Terrence needs to do is let the game and let his teammates make him better.
The lone senior that sees a lot of time on the court is Darius Miller. Do you think Darius Miller, there's a place for him on the next level?
I definitely do. I see the way he posts people up. I mean, he's just a bull. Every time he gets the box, he notices people smaller than him. He puts them on the box and just destroys them. I love the way he does that. So I definitely think he has a place. It has to be on a good team, though, so he doesn't have to do too much too early, so he learns the next level.
You know, John Calipari says the reason this team is playing better is at the point guard, Marcus Teague. That we've seen dramatic improvement in him throughout the season. You know, you watch a point guard like that. Your '96 team didn't have a star point guard, but a guy who made everybody better with Anthony Epps. Have you seen the transformation of Marcus Teague this year?
Absolutely. From having 0 assists in one game and then having everybody else get involved and him still finding his way, he's done a great job. I mean, that's the key for everybody through the season, is to get better. We didn't expect him to come in and average 20 and 10. We expect him to get better by the end of the season and keep the team together, and he's done a tremendous job at that.
Talk to me a little bit about John Calipari. I know you've seen him from afar before he got to Kentucky, and now he's at UK. During the open practice that is going to air after we get off the air here, you're going to see a lot of his actual coaching. Some people criticize him in the past of not coaching. What do you think of Cal as a coach and as a representative for UK basketball?
I love him. I think he's doing a great job. He's got all the former players back. He keeps everyone connected as far as making sure we support the program. So I think it's awesome what he's doing. I think the criticism comes because he's always had great talent. I said, you know, we had great talent and we won one championship, but Kentucky's had great talent for plenty of years. So you really can't say so much about his coaching skills. I think it's just he's had so much talent in such a short amount of time. It's just changing. I mean, the culture's changed. I mean, you think if Michigan, all their 5 players back in the Fab Five, they would have stayed to their seniors, I'm sure they would have won one championship. You think if the John Walls guys would have stayed for 3 or 4 years, they would have won the championship. And when we won, we had 3 seniors, like 3 juniors, and maybe like 3 freshmen. So we were balanced. And now you're playing with guys that are like sophomores and freshmen. They're your lead players. So I just think today's times are different.
So can you win a title like that? I mean, I think you can, but you hear some critics say, hey, you're not going to be able to win with those freshmen because they're gone before you can. You won with seniors. Can freshmen win?
That's yet to be seen. I mean, has someone done it?
Not yet, but you know, you mentioned the Fab Five. They made 2 straight championship games. They came awful close.
But once again, a young decision for Chris Webber to call a timeout. It was just he was young. He didn't understand it. Where a senior would have been like knowing the situation. That's just called experience. You can't substitute that.
I want to go back to something you said a minute ago about Calipari bringing the former players back. That was a criticism, especially of Billy Gillespie, that didn't happen. Leaving aside that part of it, talk about what it means to actually for the former players to feel a part of the program once they've left.
Well, that's what we came back to. You know, when I came, it was Rex Chapman and all those other guys just was coming back to the gym, playing with us, practicing. That's like a legacy that you get to see. I mean, Cal Macy's there. I mean, just all those guys who paved the way for us. It made it so much easier for us to say, you know what, this is like a great situation for me. And they helped us get better. Me guarding Rex Chapman made it easy for me to guard whoever I was guarding in the tournament. I mean, so I think all those things help when you play summer leagues and just being around those guys' information, because it boosts your confidence up. And I just love being in Kentucky. I mean, we've got a tradition that nobody can compare it to. So for me, I think it's just being around us, being around the university makes me a lot happier.
Now, you are from the city of Louisville, and your former coach coaches at Louisville. You went to UK. We here cheer Cats and kind of boo the Cards. What about you? Do you pull for Louisville when they're not playing Kentucky?
Well, you know, I grew up in Louisville, so we've always, cheered for Louisville. I have no downfalls for him, but I cheer for Coach Pitino because he's a great guy. He took care of us, and he helped my career develop, and he saved my career by not playing me in '97, which I wanted to do, by the way. But I think the fact that I respect him more as a person than I do just as a coach, so I would cheer for him regardless of where he's at.
So you wanted to play in '97, but Pitino wouldn't let you. In '97, were you upset, and are you upset at all now?
It's not so much upset because I had an 11-year NBA career where if I would have played and gotten hurt and never played 11 years in the NBA, I would have answered you different today.
But were you upset then? I mean, did you want back then?
I was boiling. I was like, oh, well, you have no idea. I was like, I slept like 2.5 hours. Like I think I woke up at like 3 and went to bed at like 3 and woke up at like 5:45 and was up the whole day. I was just so charged to play, and I just couldn't play. He wouldn't put me in. But yeah, I was hot then. But today I'm fine. But it's just seeing that three-peat with me so much right now.
Well, I have criticized Rick a lot, but I do think that was one of his finest hours. He could have been selfish, but He was looking out for you, and I know you'd appreciated it.
Absolutely, 100% I did.
Derek, thank you very much for doing this. We appreciate you.
Not a problem, buddy.